So today I'm out foraging for mullein. I've been looking for mullein for a while. The other weekend we were on our way to Val-d'Or and I was looking along like the highway. I was gonna be like, hey, stop, we have to pick it. And I couldn't find any. And then on our way home, all I could see on my street where I live was mullein. So today I'm gonna go harvest some. So I'm gonna pick the leaves and the flowers. The leaves are very good if you dry them, and some people smoke them. Now I don't mean you roll it up and smoke it like a cigarette, but you can use it, the dried leaves, as a smudge and inhale the smoke, and it actually is really good to treat respiratory illnesses, asthma, cough, sore throat. And you would think like, oh, the smoke will be harsh, but it's not. It's actually very good for you in that form. I'm also going to collect the flowers and I'm going to dry them. The reason why I dry them first is so I'm going to infuse them in an oil, just a regular olive oil that you use for cooking. And you want to dry them first because if they're still fresh or moist, it'll make the oil go rancid. So you want to make sure you dry them first and then infuse them in the oil. So I'm literally just walking up my street and look at all this mullein. There's mullein here, there's mullein there. Now, this one you'll see you don't want to pick these leaves. They're already browning. I'm probably a little late in the season, but there is some yellow flowers. So you'll know this plant is about 2 years old because in the first year, they really work on their roots and their leaves. And then the second year, they shoot up to about like a couple feet tall. So this one's almost as tall as me. They can be taller. There's some really tall ones over there across the road. So what I'm gonna do is pick these yellow flowers here. And I just have a clear mason jar. So I'm just going to put them in here. Now, this mullein plant is taller than me. It's so beautiful. So you'll see the leaves at the bottom are browning, but there are some good ones here. I'm going to pick these ones. You literally just pick them off. They're a silky smooth. They're like kind of like velvety. They're so neat. So what people do, you can actually wet this or soak it in a little bit of vinegar, and if you have a wound that you need to heal, you just put this right on top like a poultice and you wrap it up. This has so many healing properties in it and vitamins, and it's actually like a super plant. So what I'm going to do with these leaves is hang them up, and I'll show you in a little bit once I'm done picking it up. Now I have my jar with my flowers that I'm going to leave open on my shelf here and let that dry out. I have my leaves. I'm going to string them together with a needle and thread, and I'm going to just hang them up. Just string them up along the wall to let them dry. And there you have it, hanging up by two push pins and a string. Don't mind my washer in the background. So what I forgot to mention was if you want to use these as a tea, you would wash the leaves first. I didn't. I just plan on making smudge sticks with them, with these leaves for this particular harvest. So I didn't wash my leaves before I hung them. If you plan to use them in a tea, you might want to wash them, then hang them to dry. And also, I left the spine in. If you wanted the leaves to dry faster, you could separate them from the spine. So it's been about 2 weeks. I ended up dumping out the flower petals onto a napkin so that they could be spread out to dry. You'll see they're all nice and dry. So what I'm going to do is mix in, this is just regular canola oil. I'm just going to add it to my jar. Now, this is what I had laying around the house. You can use any kind of oil. Some people like to use grapeseed oil. It's a little more clear, For the purpose of this, I'm actually just making eardrops. So if myself or my kids ever have an ear infection, you just take a little dropper. Of course, I'm going to infuse my flowers in here. So this will soak like this for another week or two. And then it'll be good to strain and use. So you want to make sure you strain the flowers out, because this will be, like I said, an eardrops for an ear infection. You don't want to be putting the flower petals in your ear. So you just take a little dropper, once this is all strained, little dropper, put in your ear, leave it in. And there you have it. Now I never measure, you just want to make sure it's enough oil in there to cover all the flowers. Again, it's been about 2 weeks since we hung these. They are, you can hear them, nice and dry and crunchy. 2 weeks was a little bit of a longer wait than I had expected. Next time I'll definitely use a food grade dehydrator, and then it will be done in just a matter of hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these down and show you what to do next. So I've taken them down. I've just separated them into 2 bundles. This will make 2 smudge sticks. I have my string. It's just a regular little white cord string that comes in a roll. I am going to wrap them around, roll them up. I'll show you once I'm done. I need 2 hands. And I'll show you what to do after that. And typically trim the edges to make it a nice clean cut. And then with the edges, I crumple them all up, and that's what I would use for a tea. But like I said earlier in the video, I did not wash these leaves before hanging them to dry. So although I will cut them and show you once they're crumbled, I will not be saving them for a tea. But by all means, if you do wash them beforehand, then saving them for a tea is a perfect plan. Perfect. Here, like I said, 2 smudge sticks, and here's my excess, so I chopped off the ends to have nice fine edges. This, you can just crumple it and chop it up with like a slap chop or something and save it for teas, but I feel mine is a little sandy. Like I said, I didn't wash it, so I'm not going to be saving it. I'll compost it. So what I would do with these is, if I was sick or having lung issues, a cough, pressure in the lungs, I would put this in my sponge bowl, light the end. As the smoke comes up, I would inhale the smoke. That will go through the lungs, and that'll clear that up right away. Trust me, miracle plant.